Paul Heyman just spat in the face of loyalty and everything we thought we knew about professional wrestling politics. The so-called wise man has orchestrated the most gut-wrenching, backstabbing betrayal in recent WWE history, leaving Seth freaking Rollins standing alone in that ring like a man who just watched his best friend steal his wife. And if you think this is just another storyline twist, you're dead wrong. This betrayal cuts deeper than kayfabe, deeper than scripted drama, and it's about to tear the entire WWE universe apart. Let me paint you the picture of exactly how Heyman destroyed years of trust in less than 60 seconds. Picture this: Seth Rollins, the Monday Night Messiah, the architect of his own destiny, standing center ring after what should have been a routine promo. The crowd's energy is electric, feeding off Rollins' passionate delivery about carrying WWE on his back while Roman Reigns was absent. Then, like a viper in the garden, Paul Heyman's music hits. The Philadelphia faithful erupted because they know Heyman. They've watched him craft careers and demolish legends for over 3 decades. But what happened next was so calculated, so brutally executed, that even the most cynical wrestling fans felt their hearts sink. Heyman walked down that ramp with purpose, microphone in hand, wearing that smug expression that tells you someone's world is about to collapse. Rollins extended his hand, expecting alliance. After all, they've been through wars together. They've shared the ring, shared strategies, shared the burden of carrying WWE during uncertain times. But Heyman didn't shake that hand. Instead, he looked Seth dead in the eyes and delivered words that will echo through wrestling history. Seth, you were always just keeping the throne warm for the real king. The crowd's reaction was volcanic. 20,000 people simultaneously gasping, screaming, some laughing with nervous energy because they couldn't process what they were witnessing. But the betrayal wasn't complete yet. Oh no, Heyman was just getting started with his masterclass in psychological warfare. You see, Seth, while you've been out here playing pretend champion, playing dress up as the face of this company, I've been making moves. Real moves. The kind of moves that reshape entire industries. Heyman's voice carried that sinister confidence that makes your skin crawl because you know he means every syllable. And those moves involve reuniting with someone who doesn't need to pretend to be a beast. Someone who is the beast. That's when Brock Lesnar's music hit. The arena transformed into pure chaos. Fans jumping out of their seats, others covering their faces in disbelief, and Seth Rollins standing frozen like a deer in headlights. Because in that moment, everything clicked. The seemingly random appearances, the cryptic social media posts, the backstage rumors that insiders kept dismissing as wishful thinking. Heyman hadn't just betrayed Rollins, he'd orchestrated an elaborate chess game where Seth was never even a player, just a pawn. Lesnar emerged from the back looking like he'd been waiting months for this moment. That predatory grin, those cold eyes scanning the crowd like he was selecting his next victims. But his focus remained laser-locked on the ring, where Seth Rollins was about to learn that sometimes your allies become your greatest enemies without warning. The beast incarnate stalked to the ring with purpose, his massive frame casting shadows across the canvas where Rollins had been preaching about his own greatness just minutes earlier. And Paul Heyman, the man who'd supposedly been in Rollins' corner, was now standing between them like a proud father introducing his favorite son. Ladies and gentlemen, Heyman announced with theatrical flair, "My name is Paul Heyman, and I am once again the advocate for the reigning, defending, undisputed most dangerous man in all of sports entertainment, Brock Lesnar." The crowd's reaction split the arena in half. Half were losing their minds with excitement, screaming for the return of one of wrestling's most legitimate badasses. The other half were booing with the intensity of fans who just watched their hero get stabbed in the back by his most trusted ally. But Seth Rollins? Seth Rollins looked like a man who just discovered his entire reality was built on lies. His reaction was pure, unfiltered emotion. The kind of response you can't fake, can't script, can't manufacture in a writer's room. First came confusion, his face contorting as he tried to process what was happening. Then recognition, as the full scope of Heyman's betrayal became clear. Finally, rage. Pure, unadulterated fury that transformed the Monday Night Messiah into something primal and dangerous. Rollins grabbed a microphone, his hands shaking with adrenaline and anger. "Paul, what the hell are you doing? We had an understanding. We've been building something together." His voice cracked with genuine emotion, because whether this was scripted or not, the betrayal felt real in that moment. Heyman's response was surgical in its cruelty. "Seth, you poor, deluded child. Did you really think I needed you? Did you honestly believe that Paul Heyman, the man who guided ECW from a bingo hall to mainstream television, who helped Stone Cold become a global icon, who managed The Undertaker's streak, needed Seth Rollins for anything more than temporary entertainment? Every word was a dagger, carefully aimed at Rollins' pride and professional insecurity. Because that's what makes Paul Heyman dangerous. He doesn't just manage wrestlers, he understands their psychological pressure points better than they understand themselves. I used you, Seth. I used your desperation to matter, your need to be seen as the face of this company, your pathetic hunger for validation. And while you were out here playing Monday Night Messiah, I was laying the groundwork for the return of genuine greatness. Brock Lesnar hadn't said a word yet, but his presence filled the arena like a storm cloud. He didn't need to speak. His reputation, his aura, his history of destroying everything in his path, spoke volumes. And with Heyman as his mouthpiece once again, that combination became twice as terrifying. Rollins tried to fight back verbally, his promo skills kicking in as he attempted to salvage his dignity. Paul, you're making the biggest mistake of your career. I am the future of this business. I've carried this company through its darkest times while your precious beast was off playing farmer. But Heyman was ready for that too. Carried the company? Seth, you were never carrying anything. You were a placeholder. A warm body keeping the main event scene from going completely cold while we waited for the real draw to return. And now that he's back, your services are no longer required. The psychological warfare continued for several more brutal minutes, with Heyman systematically dismantling everything Seth Rollins thought he knew about his position in WWE. Every accomplishment minimized, every achievement reframed as temporary success built on false foundations. Then Brock spoke, and his words carried the weight of someone who'd already decided how this story ends. Seth, you've been playing with house money. Time to pay up. What happened next was a masterpiece of storytelling through physicality. Lesnar didn't immediately attack. Instead, he circled Rollins like a predator sizing up prey, letting the psychological pressure build until the entire arena was holding its breath. Rollins, to his credit, didn't back down. The architect has never been accused of lacking courage, and even facing this impossible situation, he stood his ground. You want a fight, Brock? You've got one. But don't think I'm the same guy you used to push around. The confrontation that followed was brief but devastating. Lesnar moved with surprising speed for someone his size, taking Rollins down with a vicious spear that sent shockwaves through the arena. Then came the German suplexes, each one delivered with the precision of someone making a statement rather than just inflicting damage. Heyman watched from ringside, nodding with satisfaction as his newest client dominated the man who'd trusted him most. And with each devastating move, the crowd's energy shifted from shocked silence to grudging appreciation for Lesnar's dominance to genuine concern for Rollins' well-being. By the time Lesnar finished his assault, Seth Rollins was left broken in the center of the ring, physically and emotionally devastated by the betrayal and its immediate consequences. Heyman entered the ring, not to check on Rollins, but to raise Brock's hand in victory while standing over Seth's prone body. The message was clear: the landscape of WWE had just changed forever, and Seth Rollins was no longer the apex predator he thought he was. But here's what makes this betrayal so much more significant than typical wrestling storylines. This isn't just about one man turning on another. This represents a fundamental shift in power dynamics that could reshape championship pictures, alter WrestleMania plans, and create ripple effects throughout the entire roster. Think about the implications. With Heyman back in Brock's corner, Lesnar becomes an immediate threat to every champion on every brand. His part-time status won't matter when he has the most intelligent advocate in sports entertainment crafting his path back to the top. For Seth Rollins, this betrayal strips away everything he's built since establishing himself as a main event player. His credibility takes a massive hit, his championship aspirations become questionable, and his entire character arc gets flipped upside down. The WWE Universe is divided like never before. Social media exploded with reactions ranging from pure excitement about Lesnar's return to genuine anger about Heyman's betrayal. Wrestling fans are picking sides, creating camps, engaging in heated debates about loyalty, business decisions, and the future of sports entertainment. This is exactly the kind of storytelling that reminds us why we fell in love with professional wrestling in the first place. Real emotions, shocking twists, and consequences that will play out for months or even years to come. The question now becomes, how does Seth Rollins respond? Does he seek immediate revenge? Does he try to find new allies? Or does he use this betrayal as motivation to prove he never needed Paul Heyman in the first place? One thing's certain: the Monday Night Messiah just got a harsh lesson in trust, and the entire WWE landscape will never be the same.